We're way far away, aren't we?
We are. It looks like we're on a cruise ship.
Hello down there.
Yes, we are. Episode 25.
Here we are in the rain.
In the rain at Heather's. In the rain.
Back at Heather's.
Back at Heather's.
Thanks, Heather.
Yeah, for a nice quiet place in the afternoon to record this. It's good. What do you think, Jeff?
I think it's a little dreary out.
It is.
I think I'm... What is this called? January now. That's what this is.
January?
January.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, because it's not quite summer.
It's going to be a tough night tonight. It is.
Yeah,
but by Friday, when this airs, it's going to be beautiful.
That's what I'm hoping.
It's supposed to be a spectacular weekend. We're looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, guys, and putting up with us for 25 episodes. We appreciate you.
That's right. All 5, 6 of you.
Yeah.
And hopefully more.
Maybe a few more this week.
That's
You
what we're
never
hoping
know.
for.
It's a milestone for us. 25.
We've continued to do this for as long as we have.
Despite you all. Yes. So, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we were having the conversation earlier about venues and whether it's expected that the band brings the crowd or if the bar should bring the crowd.
That's a very good question. What do you think?
I think the band should bring some of the crowd, but I also think that the bar should have a responsibility. Because what do they do if the band's not there? Bands aren't there 24/7.
Right. Why do bars hire bands?
To entertain the crowd that they bring in already to drink.
So yeah, it's a two-edged sword. It really is. It's I don't know. It's a hard question because many venue owners expect the band to bring the crowd.
This is true.
Many bands expect to walk in and play to a crowd that's existing in the venue. But you know, this is a great venue as an example. Heather's does live music, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And the crowd varies. And it definitely varies based on weather, but it varies based on the band that comes.
This is true.
And some bands, you know, you better get a reservation early because they're a local favorite. They're going to be packed house. Those are the ones that bring the people, that follow them, I should say. But for the most part, here on a nice summer night on a Heather's patio, most people like to come to this and just, even if they don't know what the entertainment is, you know, it's like,
right.
She's got an existing crowd that's very good here. And even on an off night, just a Thursday night or something, it seems like if it's a beautiful night,
people are going to be here.
People are out here on this patio. They'd rather be here than cooped up inside somewhere.
The other night when we went out, wasn't playing a show or anything. It was a Saturday night, and basically all we did is we looked at venues who just have live music. We were further south, away from where we normally are anyway, and we just popped into a place only because they had a live band. So that's the other thing is, you know, sometimes people just want to go see a live band even if they don't know who they are.
And you went to Froggy's.
We did go to Froggy's.
Yeah, which they've really done an incredible job of remodeling during the COVID and turning it into a much better music venue.
Yes.
Than it was. You can see everywhere in the place where you used to have a bar kind of in between you and the stage.
And that's
now,
probably
now
better for sound and everything.
Oh yeah,
too.
It's a great venue. It's really nice. Now they tend to have on the weekends a little more rocky edge. Some of the bands that play a little more rock music and all that. Than a lot of the band scene you see around the Dayton area, which tends to be country.
Right.
And which really leads me to another question, and we'll get to it in a minute. But we're going to get you. I'm going to pin you down today.
Oh no!
I am. I'm going to pin you down.
Oh
no!
We're
going to ask something, but let's talk just for another minute though about that. I think it's cool when it's a good marriage between a band and a venue. When each person kind of is responsible and brings a crowd.
Yes.
You have the existing regulars, plus the band brings people. And there's nothing better than for a venue owner than when somebody brings a whole host of folks from a totally different geographical area. And you were talking earlier about people following you different places, and
right.
Where you weren't expecting to see this crowd that came from somewhere. And it's good to take a road trip. You know,
Oh,
it's good.
absolutely.
And you hopped down to the Bell and the Bear the other night and sat with us, and we had a great time. And you'd never seen that venue, and that. So now you've got another place in your little bag of tricks to say, I'm
man,
going to
I need
go
to
there.
go there.
Yeah. And it's a drive for us. I mean,
It
it
is.
is. It's a haul, and we understand that most people are going to go where home is. You know, for me in my house, I've got Mr. Burroughs, I've got the Barrel, I've got Heather's, all within 5 minutes. You know, so that's a good music choice.
Yeah, I got to go at least 20, 30 minutes to get to live music.
So you have to plan. And you know, the
plan.
nice thing about us is we can go somewhere, and if we get tired, you know, we're home in 5 minutes. And that's, some people have to make an event out of it to go anywhere.
And that's kind of some of it too. I mean, when you start playing so much, you do want to go see a band, and you get pushed back and like, you really want to spend another night in a bar? You're not playing tonight. Let's not go to a bar.
That's a whole other show, isn't it?
Yeah, that's another topic in itself.
Because people do like to sit at home. I mean, especially if you're in the entertainment business.
Well, not even necessarily just sitting at home, but maybe doing something besides going to, you know,
I want to go bowling.
going to the movies, going to dinner,
Throw axes or something.
yeah, anything. Ride some go-karts.
Lots of things out
You've
there.
never done that. That's a blast, by
That
the way.
is fun.
Have you gone?
Yes, I've been to the one in Cincinnati.
I love it.
It's great. That's a good time till you go too fast and crash.
And then they yell at you.
Then they don't like that.
I did that first lap out of the gate. I didn't know this corner.
Hit that throttle.
Brake is just an option, right? I didn't really think you used it. No, you use it down there, because if not, then you hit the wall, and then you get the little flag like you better slow down or you're off the course.
So,
all right,
Route 88.
Route 88.
This is a good segue with the, you know, should you bring a crowd, shouldn't you bring a crowd? You think genre matters and what you're playing and what you're branded as? Because you guys get branded as a country band, and you're not necessarily all country.
No, and that's a big thing that we've kind of tried to put ourselves in some sort of category of what should we be labeled as. So we take a trip down the music highway. That's the way I always say. We're going to play everything from Luke Combs to Peter Frampton to Alice in Chains.
That's a great little slogan.
I mean, Route 88, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a trip down the music highway, and if you don't like what you hear, give us 3.5 minutes, and you might like the next one, because maybe something completely and totally different.
So what would you brand yourself as? I mean, is that it? A trip down the highway?
A trip down the music highway, a little bit of everything.
If there was one genre, though, that you could pick that would brand Route 88, I'm pinning you down, man.
Pinning
What's
me
it gonna
down,
be?
Rob always tells me is, we're the jukebox. So sometimes when you go in, you know, and you're setting up, they're playing the jukebox.
Pick your poison.
And you're going to hear, gosh, one night, I mean, you hear Tool, and then we heard Randy Travis, back to back. And so that's kind of what we are, I guess, if you think about it, is we're kind of the jukebox. Kind of like at the Bell of the Bear when they do the open jam. I mean, think about that. I mean, you hear just this, what's the guy that sang Bodies?
Yeah.
And then did
Josh
Turner.
Yeah, David Martin. He's amazing.
Yeah. Right. And it was like, oh my gosh. But
I call that musical mayhem every Thursday because it is. I mean, it's like the roulette wheel, and you never know what you're going to get. Last week there was a guy with an accordion who's playing rock songs, and he was great.
That's awesome.
Playing an electric accordion with a backing band. Yeah. It was the craziest thing you've ever seen. You'd never believe it, but yeah, it's there.
Oh, you believe it. Believe it there.
So genre's important.
I do believe it is important.
Because
a lot of
fitting the
people want to
demographic,
know.
right?
Yes. Because a lot of people want to know, well, what do you play before I come see you?
Right.
Or if you're getting hired, well, what kind of music do you play?
And if this is a rock bar that traditionally has, let's just say heavier rock music, and I'm not talking classic rock, I'm talking heavy rock music, and you walk in and you start playing Hank Williams Jr. and sad country songs, you're probably not going to go over very well.
This is true.
Because that's the bar's thing, unless you bring a big crowd. Now,
but,
you know,
I got a but.
They can open up.
We played at another place up north in Inglewood at the Courtyard. Mm-hmm. Okay, we play there a lot because that's kind of Rob's home base. Right. You know, he's got house sound there and everything, and we started playing there, and we play, like I said, Luke Combs to you know, Alice in Chains from Peter Frampton to Chicago. And when we first started playing there, we had the regulars, and we have now actually picked up quite a few people who will religiously follow us wherever we go and love us. But the Courtyard has always typically been known as a rock bar. Like one of the bands that we went and saw there, St. Hellion, heavy rock.
Yeah.
So, big difference. And when you turn the jukebox on, guess what you hear?
And I like that about Heather's here where we are today, is that she has such a variety of stuff. You can come in one weekend and hear, you know, and don't take offense, it's twangy type country, you can hear that. Or you can hear a band that's playing your favorite 80s hits, and then from there to the 90s to, you know, you name it, pop stuff, dance stuff. You get Velvet Crush, it's a dance party, you know. She has a good variety of music, but that creates an interesting atmosphere as well because people have to pick and choose their genre. If they're not into pop and dance, you're not going to see them here when Velvet Crush is here.
Right.
But, you know, you may see them here on Country Night or whatever. It's interesting how that works, and Heather does a great job of picking, and so does Marcy at Mr. Burroughs on the bands that they have and who brings the most crowd, you know. And that's, I get it. They need a crowd. That's how they make money. That's how they pay the band. And we could talk all day on cover charges too.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other topic.
It is, and that's another factor people weigh in on whether they go to some place or not. And that one to me really kind of upsets me in a way because, you know, if you're going to go to a movie, you know what you spend at a movie.
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to get an hour and a half in this movie, and you will have spent $50 maybe.
Oh,
more
easy.
than that.
I mean, just
if you buy a couple drinks before, now that the theaters have a bar, that kind of thing, you're going to pay more. And people get upset for a $5 cover charge going into a bar. It's really strange.
Gosh, where were we playing the other night? We were playing at a place that had a cover charge. 4 or 5 people walked up. They stopped them, said, "Hey, you got to pay a cover." They all kind of looked at each other. More people walk up to the door that are like looking, talking, and then they all walk out. And you're thinking, you know,
I've seen that happen at Froggy's, and they charge a cover. I mean, it has. It's kind of sad that you pick and choose based on a $5 cover.
well, like we went to Froggy's, like I said, for the first time, went in, paid the cover, you know, no problem. It's either going to the band or it's going to the staff. I know some venues, they tell me they take the cover charge and that's what pays the security.
Yeah.
But went to Froggy's, inexpensive drinks, so you can sit there, and you're going to go anywhere else and easily. So if you're paying $5 cover charge and then you go in and you got cheap drinks, you're still going to spend a lot less than if you go down the street to another place that charges you triple.
And we go to the Blue Note in the Cincinnati area down in Harrison, and I mean, it's most of those shows there, even though they're local bands, they put 2 or 3 on the stage, make it a concert type event. It's $15 cover charge if you want a table and a seat. Now, if you want to walk in general admission, it's $10, you know, and stand all night or whatever. But it's the way that Doug down there can pay the bands.
Right.
And the only way he can afford to have some of these bands is to do that because they come with a pretty hefty price tag, some of them, and because they bring their own production people, they bring their own, you know, there's 6 or 8 people in the band. You know, that cut gets smaller, you know it. You played in bands with multiple people, and, you know, the
if you're
money's
working
not
the door,
the same. Yeah.
If you're only getting paid off the door and you've got 5, 6 people in your band and nobody shows up,
that better be an incentive to bring people.
Yeah, that is, you know. And sometimes it doesn't matter. I mean, we appreciate the likes and we appreciate the follows, especially on Facebook with the band, but unless, you know, coming to shows is what really supports a band.
Yes.
Giving a thumbs up on Facebook, liking a video or a picture, you know, if you don't come out to a show, it doesn't really support.
Right.
Like we would prefer. We prefer to see your pretty face.
So the question is, and you can put it in comments on YouTube if you will, what do you think? Whose responsibility is it? The band or the venue to bring people to a show? And most people, vanilla, you know, they'll say, oh, it's 50-50, it's a two-way street and all that, but that's the way it works.
Yeah. I think the bar should have somewhat of a built-in crowd.
Right.
And I don't think it's the band's complete and total responsibility. But I do think they are obligated to at least bring in some people.
Yeah, to fill some seats.
Because if you bring in zero,
Well, Geoff, episode 25. If you guys have suggestions for what you'd like to hear us talk about or guests on the show, we'd love to hear them. We always welcome guests.
we always welcome guests.
And if
People seem to like the guests more than they like us.
if you're not comfortable leaving your lazy boy at home, we can virtual you in. We can do that. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we've just been doing this because we get tired of sitting at the house.
And we are recording this on the day that the pandemic orders have been lifted.
No more masks.
No more masks. Yes. So I really was trying to find a round of trivia to do, music trivia to do that had to do with not wearing masks, but it was hard.
You could do
Those songs will be out in a couple years.
You could do bands that always wear masks and stuff.
Yeah, quite right.
Slipknot.
There we go. Yes, that's a whole nother show. Thanks for watching.
All right, guys. Thank you. Hit subscribe and like, share it,
Talk
comment,
around town.
say
Like
something.
it. Like it.
We'll see you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.